Me, please just wrap up. How are we doing today? I know we've been here for a couple of minutes just watching testimonials and seeing how people have changed their lives with Tenalytics, and I know that you are here to do that as well. Welcome, everybody. My name is Oyindamola, and I am your host for today. How are we all doing? If you've been here before, you've had attended a analytics session, you can just react to it. You can type a one. If you've if this is your first time, type a one. If you've been here before, type the number of times you've been here. If you've been here three times, type three. If you've been here two times, type two. If this is your first session with analytics, type one. How are we all doing today? How are we all doing today? Hey, I don't know if it's just me. I can't see anyone in the chat box. How are we all doing today? If this is your first time with us here at Analytics, attending a session, hearing any one of us speak, type one. If this is your second time, type two, third time, type three, and so on and so forth. So hello everyone. Just to confirm. Hello, okay. Hi Herbert. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hello, Frederick. Hello, Justin. Hello, Kuga. Hello, Olayinka. Welcome to the session. Good evening. How are you feeling today? So this is not your first time here. I think this is your second time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm expecting more responses in the chat box. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Adeze. Hi, Jedidiah. Okay. Hi, Kuga. Welcome. Welcome to the session. So, how are we all feeling today? Hi, Kuga. How are we all feeling today? How has the day been? And yeah, we're just going to get right into the session. I'm not sure if you can see my screen yet. Just let me know if you can see my screen at the moment. You can see my presentation. Just try to say thumbs up. That works. Okay, great, 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 great. All right. Welcome, everybody, once again. Like I said, my name is Oyindamola, and I'm your host for this evening. Right? Today, we're going to be showing you someone that has done something within 3 months, right? And that's half the time it takes to learn here at Analytics, right? So that's half the time for you to go through the program, and somebody wants to show you what they have done, and that's what this session is about. Okay, so before we proceed, Tenalytics is one of the leading ed techs in the world, right? Not in Nigeria, not in Canada, not in just in the UK, it's in the world. And we're very focused on providing specialized training in tech skills and delivering comprehensive data consulting services. We have over 5 years building talent. We have helped over 3,000 people transition from what is even tech, I don't know, Python, to getting their first tech job in the UK, Canada, US, Europe, Africa, Asia, so many countries, right? And our training is very experiential and it cuts across data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, cybersecurity, product design, DevOps, and AI engineering, right? Those are what our program covers. And over time, we have proven time and time and time again that we are the best to do this, right? We have the best instructors from top companies like Apple, McKinsey, Deloitte, Amazon, so many companies, and they don't just say, "Oh, yes, I've learned this, and let me come and teach you." They actually have experienced these things in real world, and they are very dedicated to ensuring that you also get this feeling, this simulation, and learn all of this for whatever skill you want to learn, whether it's cybersecurity, agile project management, business analysis, and so on and so forth. And my name is Damola. Well, I like so many things, right? I am particularly focused on data analytics, education, and marketing. I have about half a decade experience as well as a data analyst and also teaching data analytics. I like analyzing data, I like numbers, and I also really like teaching. Okay, I have worked in program management, operations management, process management, and other data related fields. And currently, I am the program coordinator for the data engineering program here at Analytics. I love to see people go from what? I don't know how to turn on my computer to actually getting a job in tech. And that's one of the things that drive me and that keep me going. Okay. So my colleague is going to be dropping a link, right? So if you want the recording, access to the recording of this session, access to the slides we're going to present today, please do well to fill the form. It's going to be in the chat box any minute now. Okay. So um we also have someone else joining us from the team. We have Jedidiah. Hi, Jedidiah. Jedidiah is one of the best data scientists I know. He has experience in data analytics, data science, machine learning, and very recently AI engineering. He is currently the lead data associate for this data science team. He has worked as a data analyst in marketing, finance, education. He has worked as a data scientist in healthcare and aviation, and he has worked with companies across UK, US, Canada, Nigeria. And when he also consults the freelancer and very actively contributing to digital transformation initiatives. Hi, Jedidiah. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm well. It's
Hi,
lovely to
Jed.
thank you.
All right. Pleasure to have you here. You're going to be hearing from Jedidiah in a couple of minutes, right? You're going to be hearing from Jedidiah. For now, you're going to have to listen to me. And Michelle. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing today? Hello, you can unmute your mic.
I'm fine.
All
It's
right.
nice
Amazing.
meeting you.
Pleasure to have you here, right? When I saw that, oh my gosh, Michelle is going to come and be showing us what she has done in the past couple of months. She has been training here at Analytics. I was like, I have to be there, right? I really do have to be there. Okay, welcome, Michelle. So today we're going to just do a couple of things. We're going to listen to Michelle talk about her project, and Jedediah is going to be telling you, look, you've seen Michelle work, right? Do you want to do the same? Do you want to get the same results? Right? So, hi, Michelle, are you ready for us? Just show us a couple of things you've worked on. I want to
Okay.
believe you are in the business analysis track,
I didn't
right?
get you.
Oh, I said you're in the business analysis track, right?
Hello?
Hello, hi, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you loud
Can you
and
come
clear.
again? Repeat yourself, please. I didn't
Oh,
get
okay.
what you were saying.
I said you're in the business analysis track, if I'm right. Hello, Michelle. Please, can
You
you
said
confirm?
business analysis. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're in the business analysis track. So how has that been going?
It's been wonderful. It's been fine. And I must say the experience has been exciting for me. I don't know of others, but it has truly been exciting for me. I've learned a lot. And some of the things I've learned, I've even put it into practice in my small
Okay,
scale business I have. So it's been good.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so you can show us your project. The floor is yours. Take us away.
Okay, let me share my screen then.
Oh, sure you can.
So I'll start by saying that it is truly an opportunity to be here. It's not just an opportunity. I count it as a privilege because some other of my cohorts, they are as good as I am too. And their works are also good too. So I count it as a privilege to showcase my projects that I've done over these past 3 months. I'll start by saying bridging ambition and opportunity, my journey with analytics in the business analysis program. So let me tell you about myself. My name is Michelle Ufomami Menyerayi. I have a high school diploma. I've been an admin secretary for over 15 years, 15 years experience, and I co-own a small-scale retail store. Now I've transitioned into a business analyst, not your just everyday business analyst, but a business analyst that is experienced, that has a wide range of experience, good wealth of experience, cutting across different industries. For instance, I have experience, I've done project works, experience in retail, experience in healthcare field, in technology, in logistics. That's just a few of the experience I have. Can't mention all of them here. And from this experience, I've been able to master the skill of analyzing organizational needs, analyzing their needs, trying to also identify the challenges these businesses have. Identifying these challenges has also helped me to know that I have to prefer a practical, value-driven solution for them too. Since you know their needs, their problem, then you have to prefer a solution for them. And I also take delight in partnering with stakeholders to understand the stakeholder needs, to know their pain points in terms of the business challenges they are having, to be able to transfer their business requirements into strategic solutions. I would like to give an example. Like I have a recent encounter with a retail organization. This retail organization, the stakeholders, they have a particular problem. And the problem was that their customers were leaving them. The churn rate was really high. Why was the churn rate high? Because their processes, the process of them trying to get payment from these customers was manual. The payment processes was manual. So most of the customers felt that it was inconvenient for them and they were patronizing other competitors instead of them. So after listening to them, I thought deeply and used my critical thinking. I said, okay, if this is happening, if customers continue to leave, it will affect your sales at the end of the day. And it's also going to affect your turnover at the end of the year too. Your sales is going to be dwindling, your turnover will also dwindle. So the best thing to do is to adopt an efficient, automated way of trying to get payment from these customers. And you have to look for, I recommended a very reliable and notable vendor that is reliable in the processes of transaction processes being smooth and seamless. Their process is very fast, smooth and seamless. And when they adopted this solution, at the end of the day, the churn rates reduced drastically by 50%. And customers were patronizing them more. More customers were coming in. And even the existing customers still kept on patronizing them. So at the end of the day, the home business was saved. And this is what I take delight in. It brings me great satisfaction to solve simple and complex business problems when I am able to effect change in organization, and those change leads to an increase in performance. Wow, it brings me great joy. So that's why I'm so much excited of being a business analyst, because I know that's my calling. It's just in me, it's built in me. And internalytics, they've taught us a lot of concepts in the business analysis that we can even apply to our everyday circumstances or living or whatever we do. And our past experience too, like my past experience as an admin secretary has also helped me, because as a business analyst, I have to be able to communicate with my stakeholders and get the requirements they need. So I'll for now go to the BA course outline, not to waste your time. Now, the program we've been having for the past 3 months covered Excel and Power BI for data analytics. We started with Excel, then we went to Power BI. After Power BI, we went to SQL. Then there was also project initiation and planning, agile essentials, software development lifecycle, requirements fundamentals, elicitation, analysis, specification, and approval. Business analysis toolkits leverage Agile and Scrum for projects. Business analysis toolkits, Agile online project collaborations, stakeholders analysis and engagement. So these are some of the courses we've taken in the past 3 months now. So why business analysis? To me, business analysis links strategy, data, and people to drive innovation. Business analysis empowers organizations to make data-driven decisions and improve processes. My goal is to blend project management, analytical thinking for success in tech. My transition journey so far, when transitioning from being an admin secretary for over 15 years and owning a business, although owning a business gave me some ideas about business, but from transitioning into business analysis is a whole different experience. Now we have to learn about Excel, how to move from basic to advanced analytics. I knew a lot about Excel before. I'll say a lot, but when I was taught Excel in analytics, wow, it was like eye-opening. I got to understand a lot of things that I didn't comprehend about Excel. And I was taught about data cleaning. I got to know how to create my own dashboard. It was just eye-opening, and it was really advanced. Then later we were taught Power BI, learned to create interactive dashboards, visualize and communicate insights effectively. Because Power BI is all about storytelling. How you are able to tell your stories using your charts that you plot in your dashboard. And later we went into SQL. We'll actually use the Progress SQL. and I was able to use it too in the project, one of the project works that we handle. And after that, Jira for teamwork and documentation skill. So now let's go into some of the projects I did with analytics for the past 3 months now. The first project was using the tool Excel. Now I'll give you a little overview of this company so that you understand a little of what you see on your screen. Buy Gear Sales Performance Dashboard. This is a Buy Gear solution. It's an organization, a business that has branches in Canada, Australia, and I think in the US too, yes. And this company, they specialize in selling bike, cycling accessories and bikes, but they were having problems. Their problems is that they do not know what subcategory of their products they should invest more in. That is to have more of them in their inventory. And they do not know which age group or which gender, that's the demographics, their product appeal to more. They do not have insight on what country they are selling more. Is it in the US? Is it in Australia? What region are they doing more? They don't have those information, and they do not know what season of the year they have peak sales. Like, is it in fall? Is it in summer? Or is it in autumn? They do not have those information. So using this Excel, we're able to make a detailed analysis from the data they gave to us. Where I was able to create a dash, I was able to use a pivot table. From the pivot table, created a pivot chart and was able to organize this dashboard you see here. And the dashboard was able to reveal the subcategory of products that was making much sales in the market. And they got to know that one of the categories of their product that was making much sales was road bikes. And after road bikes was mountain bikes. So they have to get most of those bikes in their inventory. And they had to also understand that the demographics that their product appeal to more were young adults. The aged and the older ones do not patronize them more. They also got to find out that in the countries where they were doing more was in the United States, Australia, and United Kingdom. And they got to know where they have peak sales, what season in the year they had peak sales, which was usually summer, when people were able to use bikes on a daily basis. So this was what using Excel as an analysis tool was able to bring to the fore for them to understand. And now, since they've gotten this knowledge, what would be the solution? What would they have to do now to increase sales in countries where they are not doing more? So I advise them that what they have to do is that at least they should prioritize advertising, because advertising does a lot. Maybe during winter, when people are not much keen about getting bikes, they should think about advertising to promote their products and to encourage people to get bikes. So by the time summer comes, people will now be accustomed to hearing those adverts and will eventually go for those bikes. And in those countries, they should increase the campaign for it. And for the bikes which they sell more, we encourage them to try to channel most of their capitals into acquiring such bikes like the road bikes and the mountain bikes, which they make more sales in much. They should acquire them much in their inventory instead of any misappropriation in their inventory, going for subcategory products that do not do well in the market. So that is what we were able to achieve using Excel as an analytic tool for our stakeholders to ascertain their needs and also to provide solution to the problems they were having. Now, the next project we had was on NovaMat performance dashboard. NovaMat, I mean to say, this is NovaMat performance dashboard. The project we did was in twofold. We first of all use SQL before we now extract the data from SQL, took it to Power BI and built a dashboard for them. But I will tell you a little about this company, NovaMat. You see, NovaMat, they are 100% online company, and they
All right. So, I'm guessing Michelle was kicked out for, I don't know, maybe a a technical glitch. Okay, hi Michelle. Can see you're back in.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can't hear you
Hello?
now. Hello.
Okay.
All right, you can continue sharing your screen.
That was a little glitch. I think my network
Okay.
went down.
All right.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen now. Could you please put it in presentation
Okay.
mode? Top right,
In
the
presentation mode.
yes, top left, rather, top left, you would see just beside the round arrow, the arrow that is round. That's square button.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
It's breaking.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I was saying put it in presentation mode. Top left, there is a square with a place sign with a triangle inside. Just click on it. So it will be clearer for us to see.
Top left.
On top of that, just beside you, yes, that works. You just have to
Okay.
just keep scrolling. Use the arrows. Just keep scrolling and you get there. So
Okay.
yes, this is much better. Thank
So
you.
like I was saying, okay. Like I was saying, NovaMat, the company is 100% online company, and they provide curated products like wellness pack, snack, tech accessories. So those are the things they provide. The problem of this company, what was their problem? They wanted to know which bundle of their products was selling more, which bundle of their products had high sales. They also wanted to know why ticket rating was low. What was the reason responsible for ticket rating? And they wanted to know if the discounts they were giving out to customers, whether it was hurting their organization. So these are the things they needed to know. And to be able to know which bundle of their tickets was selling more, let me take you to the SQL part. This is it. I hope you can see it. We were able to use through SQL to ascertain which bundle was selling more, and that was, I think, bundle I or J. For I think bundle J. So they were able to know that that bundle was selling more, and from using SQL to be able to give them information on I think the customer loyalty tier. Yes, the customer loyalty tier. Which of them was patronizing the business more? Is it gold? Is it silver? Or is it mm, the other loyalty tier? So from there, from SQL, I didn't upload that one here, but we're able to ascertain which of the loyalty tier was patronizing them more. Now, let me go back to the dashboard that I built. This dashboard, it tells a lot of story that Novamat wanted to know about. Now, they wanted to know total revenue and units sales by category and bundle size. And this was what I was able to let them know. First of all, the wellness pack, the large, medium, and small, the large bundle of wellness pack was making much sale than all the other products they were selling. Wellness pack was making much sales than tech, than snacks, than essentials. And for the ticket rating, we saw that most of the ticket rating was resolved, but there were some pending tickets that was not resolved. So as a business analyst, I advised them that this could lead to the reason why some of the customers may not want to patronize them, because if they keep on subscribing and most of their subscription complaints are not being addressed properly and on time, it will discourage them from getting or patronizing their business more. So they should pay attention more to their ticket rating, because that's what the consumers are saying about their business. The ticket rating reveals what the consumers are saying about their business. And from the loyalty tier, we found out that those in the silver loyalty tier was patronizing the business more. So I encourage them that they should try to stimulate or to motivate these customers to move from silver to gold, because when they enter the gold loyalty tier, it means more money for the business. And we're able to see the 5 cities that had high subscription volume. Like Port Harcourt was one of them. Port Harcourt had high subscription volume, followed by the other cities. So for those cities that do not have high subscription volume, what would they do? There are many means of stimulating consumers to subscribe more to their products. They can do campaign, they can give incentives like buy one of their products and get 2 free, or buy one product and get 1 free. Such strategies can help the business to attract new customers and to retain the old ones, and to even encourage the old ones to move to a higher loyalty tier like gold, and it will generate more income in the other cities where they do not have much sales. So that was what I achieved using this Power BI dashboard. It was very, very interesting, because the facilitator help us to understand is that Power BI is like the elder brother to Excel. It has a lot of features that can be able to bring insights to light, and it will help even stakeholders to see vividly how they can make decisions that are based on what they are able to see from your dashboard. So that's what I was able to achieve using Power BI and SQL. Now, we did a project on business case, and that business case was on Synergy Enterprise. The overview of Synergy Enterprise is that Synergy is a global manufacturing company. It has about 75,000 employees across 5 continents. And their focus is that they want to have a strong global brand. They want customer loyalty, and they want to be able to have sustainable growth. They want to attract talent, development, and also retain those talents they've attracted to is also much important to them. But their challenges is that their documents, their data, as I mean to say, is fragmented. Their HR data is fragmented in various continents. It's not in a particular HR tool. That's they do not have a single source of truth of employee data. Their processes was manual, was inefficient, their HR processes, and they had limited global workforce insights. This limited global workforce insights is due to the fact that these data are fragmented. If the data are fragmented, and they are in 5 continents, let's say those in Africa want to see what is happening in a place like Asia, they won't be able to have that access because the data are fragmented and they have inconsistent employee experience. Because like for an employee in a place that in one of the continents, they have their organization that is more developed. For instance, if that employee applies for a leave of absence, that leave might be granted quickly because maybe the HR system they have there is up to date and smooth and working well. But maybe an employee they have in Africa apply for the same leave of a leave. They won't be able to get that leave on time. Maybe it will take 3 to 5 days for them to get that leave because the data they need are not in just one sole place. They are fragmented. So the employee experience will be inconsistent in the different continents where their organizations is located, and high compliance risk and IT maintenance. All these challenges are due to the fact that they have fragmented data. So the proposed solution was that they implement a single cloud-based global human capital management platform, HCM. This global human capital platform, a single cloud-based global human capital platform, will be able to cover HRO recruitment, onboarding, performance learning, analytics. In fact, it will solve, if not all, but 99.9% of their problems will be solved. And the key benefit is that they will have centralized employee data, a single source of truth. So from any angle of the world in which their HRO are, they'll be able to retrieve information they want about any employee in any part of the world where their organization is. And they will have standardized global HRO process with local compliance, real-time workforce analytics and insights, improve employee and management service, reduce manual work and long-time costs. So we gave them options to consider: status quo. That is, they do not make any change, no investment, but no unsustainable and risky. That is, they will make no investment to make changes to the HMC they have or the ones they have before to make into a global one in which they will have one single source of truth. Is it that they remain where they are, or they make improvements, or they make partial integration? That's the other options they will consider too. Or finally, they just go to the fact of implementing a global cloud HNC management system for their HR, so that they will have a seamless experience when trying to retrieve data, and everything will just be going fine for the company. And we also talked about, I helped them to see the financial overview, the cost it will take, licensing, implementation, data migration, training, support, and the benefits they will derive: lower HRO and IT costs, improve productivity, reduce compliance risk, and they will have a return on their investments is expected to occur between 3 to 5 years. I also talked about their implementation risks and mitigation. The risks is that some of the HRO employees in the different continents might be resistant to change. They might want to stick to their old means of running the system. But as a business analyst, we try to convince them on the need for change. And there's a mitigation which we also want to consider, is that this HMC software that we want to, the system software that we want to acquire, can be in phased rollouts. That is gradually, phase by phase. And we'll talk about strong governance, stakeholder engagement, comprehensive training, because the employees have to be trained too in order to be able to use this new tool, this new HRO tool.
Okay.
I also talked about the implementation plan, the planning, governance, the vendor selection, system design, configuration, data migration, integration, because for data to be migrated from one system to another, it means that we also have to get a backup copy so that data might not be lost. And we'll talk about pilot and phased global rollouts, training and change management. We'll go live and continuous improvement. So in conclusion, a unified global HMC system, that is a human capital management system, is a strategic investment that will modernize their HRO experience and strengthen the company, and it will help them to have a global appearance or support in one shell. The software methodology I recommended was hybrid agile, that's agile and waterfall. Waterfall for planning, governance, and compliance, agile for configuration testing. So that was it on business case. Now I also made some analysis using Fishbone, and Fishbone is under gap analysis. Gap analysis is just about trying to ascertain where a company is right now and where they want to be in future, or where they desire to be in future. And the tools that can be used to analyze such so in the tools on gap analysis that can be used is Fishbone. We have Fishbone, we have SWOT, we have McKinsey, 7X, and we have Person. Now for Atlas Freight Solution, a brief overview of this company is that Atlas Freight Solution is a logistic company. This logistic company, they are involved in logistics, warehousing, and last minute or last phase delivery. That is, they deliver from the last stop to the consumer. They bring the goods from the last stop where the goods were delivered lastly to the consumer. And to get the factors that were affecting them internally, because they were having problems. One of the problems they were having was delayed delivery. They were having problems of I think they were having problems of staff, their staffs and their drivers. The turnover was high. Most of the staffs and the drivers were leaving the organization. Those were some of the problems they were having. Now to analyze those problems, we have to think about the internal and the external factor. So using fishbone, we're able to get the internal factors why these employees were leaving, why the goods were being delayed, and why most of the goods they were transporting was being damaged too. And in the warehouses too, they were also having a bottleneck in the processes. Bottleneck means there was delay in their processes. Now, using fishbone, under people.
Hi, Michelle. We're not hearing anymore, or is that just on my end? You can actually thumbs down if you cannot hear her anymore. Okay, all right. So I'm guessing that's another network um glitch. So how is everyone doing? So Michelle just showed us what she has learned in the couple of months that she has started learning. And we can see that it's very, very thorough work. So just to get, hi Nicole, how are we doing? How has the session been so far? Has it been eye-opening? Do you want to be like Michelle, where you actually don't have technical experience before, but now you can build stuff from the scratch? So just let me know how you're feeling, how's the session been so far. I'm expecting reactions and responses in the chat box. Hi, Blessing. Hi, Akari. Hi. Oh, okay. So far, so good. Great. Hi, Frederick. Hi, Herbert. Hi, Ini. Hi, JB. Okay, how has the session been so far? So that's part of what you're going to get if you train with us at Analytics. So you can see that we just did not say put pen on paper and we're just showing you what you're doing. You're going to see and you're going to try your hands at that. Clearly, you can tell that Michelle's project, they didn't work on it for her, right? It's something that she built from the scratch, and that's why she can speak so much to the project. Okay, so okay, I think Michelle is out for a couple of minutes. All right, hi Jedidiah, are you with us? I think the floor is yours now. Very productive outcome, honestly, for 3 months. Very promising. So this is your chance, right? Jedi is going to tell us about a couple of things a couple of goodies, right? So I don't think you should be very intimidated, honestly. There's someone that if you joined a little earlier, there was a testimony about someone that broke into, was it project management or business analysis after 60? And that's something that we see a couple of times. Like I have someone that is in my data engineering class that is actually over 50, right? She has teenagers and people that are in their 20s as their children, and she's doing data engineering and she's getting the hang of it. So I would say don't be intimidated, right? The best time to start is now. If you start next year, you're still going to be 50 plus next year, right? Your age is still going to go. Just start now. That's just it. And it's better that you take this chance now because anything can happen. Hi, Jedidiah. The floor is yours. Yes, I can hear you. I think you're unmuted. So yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing?
I'm well. Good evening
Good
from here.
evening.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's lovely to be in the session today. And I'm just as excited as you are to, go through the conversation this evening. We've seen a couple of projects from Michelle where she has shared what her experience has been like, training with analytics from starting out the program to learning about business analytics to all of the projects that she has worked on. All right. And I'm sure a lot of us are also looking forward to a similar experience. All right. All right. And I think I got the message, or the question that was asked, a moment ago. I want to assure you that age is not a factor here, especially in the tech space. I've had a participant that had pretty much spent her 35 years in civil service. She was working in the oil company. And after she had retired, she took the data science program. So it's not a barrier, right? Everything is designed to ensure that you have a seamless journey and you can transition into this space with relative ease. All right, so in a quick moment, we're going to be talking about how Analytics can help you to make this transition, what steps you need to take in order to get started on your journey. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. Um, just send in your favorite emoji once you can see my screen. Just react with your favorite emoji once you can see my screen. Fantastic, fantastic. It's lovely to have everyone on the call. Now, we've been able to go through a project showcase with Michelle. Michelle has shown us a couple of the projects she worked on while she was on the training. There's a lot more where that came from, regardless of whatever track you might be going on with us here at Tenalytics. Now, we are going to be talking about a couple of things in this session. We are going to be talking about what other tracks, what other opportunities there are. We're going to be talking about the demand in the market, and we're going to be also talking about how Analytics can position you for these opportunities. And one thing I can guarantee you at the end of this session is you'll be walking away with you know, an understanding of how you can transition into the tech space and how you can land a high paying job. You'll walk away with an understanding of how Analytics can as well help you and guide you in help making sure that you're able to secure this role that you're interested in getting into. All right. So without further ado, let's actually get into it. Now, before we came up with all of the tracks that we have here at Analytics, we had to go through some extensive research. The purpose is we want to make sure that anyone that goes through a training with us is likely going to land a role after their training. We want to prepare you for the job market, not just to make sure that you're going through trainings and getting tech skills, getting familiar with the tools like Excel, Power BI, and the likes of that. There's an end game for us here at Analytics. And the end game is that you are able to break into the tech space and actually secure a job. So Analytics conducted extensive research. We looked at job boards like LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Google Jobs, and so many other platforms. Right? We looked at all of these platforms and we looked at different job postings on these platforms. And our focus was on the top job postings, what jobs were consistently in demand, right? What jobs kept popping up on these job boards consistently, as well as what jobs were paying the most, right? As much as we are looking at jobs that popped up the most, we also wanted to see what jobs were paying high enough. Now, while we did this, we came up with a lot of different jobs, right? We came up with different roles that were consistently coming up on these job boards. But then we still took them and sieved them through three major filters. We looked at all of these job boards that we had found out and we've put them through three major filters. The first is ease of learning. We are looking out for jobs that you can actually learn about and easily get into. Right. So as much as we are looking at, oh, how can you get into the tech space? Is it something, as much as we are looking at career paths that you can break into, Right? Is this something you can easily learn? Right? If you look at a track like medicine, for example, it takes years of learning. It takes years of practice for you to actually become a medical doctor. All right. So we looked at tracks that were in demand and were easy to learn, relatively easy anyway. All right. And then we also looked at ease of transition. All right. How easy is it for you to move from a different track into any one of these roles? And then the final and probably the most important, filter was high rewarding salary. How many of you are excited about the high rewarding salary? I don't know about you, but for me, the high rewarding salary is one of the things that attracted me to the tech space. Right. I'm sure for a lot of you, it's the same case. All right. I'm sure for Indamola, if you ask her, we are most likely on the same page on this one. So yes, what we did was go on to look for all of these job openings, looked at them, and put them through these three filters: ease of learning, ease of transition, and high rewarding salary. And we were able to come up with a list of jobs or a list of roles, a list of career paths that you can actually get into and actually enjoy all of these benefits that check the boxes for us. Now, after we did that, we came up with these 10 different tracks. Now, besides that, what we did is also take on an extra step to validate our research by looking at external sources. So we looked at reports like the Future of Jobs report, which is basically a yearly report that's put out that basically gives a projection of jobs that are going to decline over the next 5 years and jobs that are going to continuously grow in demand. Right? And based off of that research, we were able to realize that in the next 5 years, between now and 2030, over 170 million jobs will be created. Despite the trends in the AI community, despite the changes that are happening in the job market, 170 million jobs will be created, while 92 million jobs will disappear. So there are certain jobs that are going obsolete. There are certain jobs that are disappearing from the market because the demand for these jobs are gradually declining. And then there are jobs that are projected to continuously grow in demand. Now, if you recall earlier, I said Tenalytics did an extensive research and we came up with 10 tracks. Now, after we compared these 10 tracks against this report, we saw that these 10 tracks were among the highest ranked jobs to continuously grow in demand. So you see roles like data engineering, product design, data analytics, data science, DevOps engineering, cybersecurity, agile project management, business analytics, and so on and so forth. And these jobs are projected to continuously grow in demand. And if that is not enough, we went through extensive research and also looked at extra boards, right? We looked at extra platforms, right? We looked at, regional, we did some regional analysis. We looked at countries like the US, for example, looked at what job roles had the highest acceptance rate for H-1B visas. We looked at Canada, we looked at the UK, what jobs continuously came with the top ranked when it came to jobs that offered visa sponsorship. And these jobs still topped the charts. So getting into any one of these roles gives you a level of security, knowing that in the next decade, between now and 2030 and the next couple of years, these jobs are projected to continuously grow. They are currently in demand and they are projected to continuously grow in demand. So if you are looking to get into this space, now is your time, right? This is your chance. So you can be amongst the first couple of people that can take advantage of the opportunities that are coming up. All right. Now, while these opportunities are coming up, Tenalytics came up with a formula that allows us to help people who are interested in making this transition to be able to do this seamlessly. We've come to realize that these tracks are in demand, these roles are in demand. We've done extra research to validate all of our findings. What we've done is come up with a formula that helps us to guide people in making this transition. And this formula is simple. The first stage of this formula is to learn. So the first thing you need to do is to identify which one of these career tracks you want to get into. And then you start learning about it. So you really want to put a lot of focus on this part of your journey. All right. You pick up one that is ideal for you, one that still goes through those three filters for us. All right. You want to make sure it's a track that you can easily learn. You want to make sure it's a track that you can easily transition into. And again, as we've discussed, there are high rewarding salaries for every one of this track. So before you decide on a track, you have to look, is this something I can easily learn based on my past experiences, based on what I currently do? Is this something I can transition into? Right. And we'll be talking a bit more about each one of these tech tracks so you can identify which one might be the good fit for you. Now, after learning, the next thing you need to do is to package everything that you have learned. So you need to ensure that, oh, I have learned about business analytics, just like we've seen from Michelle. And then I need to make sure that I have a collection of projects that I have worked on that can serve as evidence that I know these things. I need to package everything that I have learned so that I can present it to potential recruiters and actually secure a job. I need to also make sure that my CV accurately represents or portrays me as a data engineer, for example, or a data scientist or a data analyst. So whatever you are learning, you need to package it for the opportunities that are out there in the market. So now you have the knowledge. Now you have competence and proof of this competence. The next stage is to go on to apply to openings. And analytics is supporting you through all of these three phases of your journey. And eventually, as you go through the application process, you learn, get proficient at your skill, you package everything that you are learning well enough, and then you go on to apply, you stand a very great chance of securing a job. All right. Lots of people have gone through the Analytics program and have applied this same formula. All right. I'm just going to show us a couple of examples. This is Bukola, who went on the Analytics Business Analytics program, was able to go through this same stages of learning, was able to apply this formula, learn, package, apply, and she secured a job. And there are lots of other people. All right. This is Abednego, for example. Abednego went through the data analytics program. All right. He was able to package everything that he learned, built a portfolio, applied to jobs, got interview preparation and support, and was able to secure a job, right, in Canada. As a matter of fact, Abednego was with us celebrating our 5th year anniversary recently, or last year. All right, he was with us in Canada. He joined us in celebrating the 5th year anniversary. All right, so this is just proof that this formula works. And there are lots of other people. This is Ramat, this is Christian, this is Gad, data engineering, and so many other people. This is William, and so many other people have been able to apply this same formula that helped them to secure their very first role in the tech space. So for you, you might be wondering, how do I get started with this? How can I also get into this space? How can I also secure a very first job in this space? There are two major things that recruiters want from you. All right. Just two things. The very first is the skill. They need you to have the skill. They need you to be able to use Power BI. They need you to be able to write Python scripts. They need you to be able to scrape data. They need you to be able to build ETL pipelines. They need you to go through penetration testing, and the likes of that. They need you to design an interface. They need you to have these skills. And secondly, recruiters want you to have experience with these things. Nobody wants to have a newbie, right? A lot of times, a lot of recruiters, you barely see, maybe roles where they ask for just 1 year of experience. Most of these are entry level roles. But what we do here at Analytics is position you for mid level to senior level roles. All right. Our objective is not to have you getting into entry level roles. The objective is to help you get equipped with the skills and knowledge that you need, and then help you to actually secure a job in this space and not necessarily an entry level position. So the way we go about doing this is to ensure that you're equipped with the skills as well as the experience. Now, lots of recruiters, you see lots of openings where they ask for 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience, and so on and so forth. All right. So how exactly can you portray that if you do not have these years of experience? All right. So two things: skills, experience. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Skills and experience. Now we are going to start with skills. You need to have these skills in order to secure a job in any one of the spaces that you are interested in. And how exactly does analytics help you to get these skills? We help you by taking you through ensuring that you are able to not just get the technical skills that are required for the role, but also the employability skills that guarantee you securing a job in this space. So besides knowing how to use Excel, besides knowing how to, build a dashboard, you need to be able to communicate to stakeholders. Michelle shared with us that her job does not end at just building a dashboard or creating a report. You actually need to discuss with stakeholders, communicate what your findings are, communicate the next line of actions, and make sure that all of these are executed. All right. So there are soft skills that are required beyond the technical skills. There are soft skills that are actually required in order for you to get into the space. So how do we help you to get both these technical skills as well as the soft skills? You learn the technical skills by having access to a library of self-paced learning materials. And all of these are available on our learning management system. As soon as you get enrolled for the program, you are granted access to these resources, and you can actually start consuming them, start getting familiar with these tools, start getting familiar with these skills, with this concept, and build yourself. All right. So we are already working on the first path, right? That helps you to secure a job. The first thing that recruiters want to see. Now, the second way we help you to build these technical skills is by taking you through live instructor-led classes. So while you have self-paced videos that you can go through at your own convenience, go through them at your own pace. Say you have 10 videos to watch, you can decide, oh, I'm going to watch 2 videos for each day of the week between Monday, and then by Friday, I would have been done with these videos, right? You get to watch them at your own pace. Now, besides the self-paced videos, we have live instructor-led classes where you are actually having a conversation with a facilitator like myself or Oyindamola. You get to ask questions, you get to learn from these professionals, all right, as you go through your training. Francis is asking, can you still access the LMS after you're done with your training? Yes, you can. Even after the training, you have access to the LMS and all the resources that you used while you were learning. Right? So through the live classes, you'd be learning with a facilitator. You'll be working on live projects. We are very intentional about your experience at analytics. And therefore, we make sure that as you go through your learning journey, you are actually working on projects that help you to solidify, to reinforce your knowledge, and also to strengthen your skills in this space. So if Oyindamola is teaching you about ETL pipelines, you are not just discussing it in theory, you are actually building these ETL pipelines together in a live session, besides the watch me do it videos that you actually get to go through as you go through the session. All right. Now, besides the technical skills, you also need employability skills, like I mentioned earlier. You need to have a stellar CV that reflects your acquired skills and you know, competence in this space. Sorry about that. So you need employability skills in order for you to actually secure your slot in this space. In order for you to get a job, you need to have a stellar CV that you can use to apply to these jobs. So Analytics helps you through revamping your CV. We guide you through what to do, what recruiters are expecting on your CV, what you need to put on your CV, and how to go about doing this. Now, as you go through the CV review and revamp, all right, we also take you through the LinkedIn optimization session. The purpose of the LinkedIn optimization session is so that you also have a stellar profile that accurately reflects your newly acquired skills. You need to position yourself for these opportunities that are coming up in the market. Okay? So besides getting the skills themselves, you need to be employable. So you need a profile that accurately reflects all of this. I can't tell you the number of opportunities that have come my way on LinkedIn simply by having an active profile and by consistently communicating with people in this space. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Just confirm you can. Okay. 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 Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It was a network issue. All right. Awesome. So I was speaking about the employability skills, LinkedIn optimization. This positions you for lots of opportunities in the market. We'll also take you through navigating the job market, understanding what the expectations of recruiters in this space is and how to position yourself for these opportunities. Now, when you eventually get these opportunities and you need to prepare for an interview, you can actually go on to book an interview preparation session with us at Analytics, and we help you to be prepared for this interview. We guide you through what kind of questions to expect during the interview and how to answer these questions correctly so that you can actually scale through the interview and secure the job. All right. So if you've we're paying attention through all the other people who went through the formula of learn, package, and apply. You'd see that every one of them experienced the interview preparation session. So it's a very vital, part of the experience that helps you to secure a job. Now, beyond this, we have job references that are available to you when you apply to jobs, and these are requested from these organizations. All you need to do is ask, and Analytics makes that available to you. We even have, on the job support for when you actually secure a role. So even after you have gotten a job, you need support. Within the first 30, 60 days of being on the job, right? Analytics can actually support you through that, getting you settled and getting you to perform optimally after you have gotten a job. Now, while you go through your training, we have what we call the weekly mentorship session. This is a session that happens every Thursday. And the purpose of this session is so that we discuss some of these employability skills that you need. All right. How to negotiate salaries during an interview, for example, what kind of questions to expect during an interview, how to answer questions during an interview, how to, engage with people online, how to leverage AI in applying to jobs in bulk so that you can secure a role, right? All of these are the kind of topics that we discuss during the weekly mentorship session. And again, this happens every week. We also have the Upwork optimization session. The purpose of this session is to help you to leverage platforms like Upwork just in case you do not want to take the conventional route of working a 9 to 5 or working with a conventional organization, you can actually work freelance, and would be taking you through how you can leverage a platform like Upwork to do that. Now, we've been able to see what you need in terms of skills to get into this space. What we'll be looking at now is each one of these tech tracks and what skills are required for you to actually get into this space. The business analyst, for example, is an expert at analyzing data around business processes. We listened to the guest earlier, and she spoke about some of the projects that she worked on. All right, where they were talking about supply, how we get products shipped out, how we get products, how we attend to supply and demand. That is a flow within how the business operates, and it is very important that we make this flow very optimal and efficient, and that's why we have professionals like the business analysts. All right. Michelle told us about how she leveraged tools like Excel, all right, and even SQL to write queries to interact with a database. She took us through process mapping. Before you can go into analyzing a process, you need to first of all define what the entire process looks like, map the entire process out, and then start looking for points where that makes this process a bottleneck, basically, in this process. All right. So would take you through would take you through how you can learn the skills that are required to actually secure a job in this space. Please give me a moment to get some water. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. All right. Just give me a second to reshare my screen and let me know once you can see it. Just confirm you can see my screen. All right. Awesome. Awesome. So we've talked about the business analytics role, which is what Michelle does. She has shared with us some of the projects she has worked on, what skills she's already building, and you see that it's practical. We don't just talk about Power BI or Excel in theory. You actually get to work on these projects. You get to work on projects using these tools. We also have the agile project management. Now, businesses and brands, startups, especially in the tech space, usually have a product that needs to be developed. And whenever this journey starts, it's very important that the entire process or the entire project itself is broken down into pieces that are workable. And the objective is to make sure that as we go through executing this project, there's a tangible outcome that we can share with our customers as we go through the process. Take, for example, someone who is trying to develop, a new application, right? As soon as that journey starts, they want to make sure that the customers have a look, have a feel of what to expect. Now, the job of the agile project manager is to make sure that the entire journey can be broken down into manageable chunks, that at each phase we have a tangible results that we can showcase to our, you know, our audience, our customers, our, stakeholders. At the same time, they manage the execution of these smaller chunks. They make sure that everyone is on track with what they are working on. They make sure that any blockers that anyone on the team has can be resolved. They might not be responsible for directly resolving these issues, but they are responsible for ensuring that the issues get resolved, right? So if they need to get the resources required, then they go ahead to do this. The job of the agile project management is in some form the job of a coach, coordinating the execution and development of a project. And they leverage tools like Confluence, Jira, and Trello. And when you get started on this journey, you'd start by getting introduced to project management and to the different methodologies that exist in the project management market. And then as you go through the project, as you go through the program, we eventually double down on the agile methodology and how you can go through Scrum rituals as a project manager. If all of this is making sense to you, just go on to type a 1 in the chat. If this is making sense to you, just go on to type a 1 in the chat. Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, on the next phase, we have 3 tech experts that all work with data. However, their interactions with data is quite unique. We had the data engineer, the data scientist, and the data analyst. I'm going to start from the data analyst. This is basically a professional that's an expert at looking into data, looking into patterns, and uncovering and explaining these patterns to a business. So the data analyst can look at trends in our data and explain what has happened, what changes have happened in recent time, what pattern are we seeing, what development is going on. Are we experiencing an increase in sales, or is there a decline in the number of customers that we have? Are we losing customers? Basically, the data analyst is able to look at data and uncover insights like that. They're able to leverage tools like Excel, SQL, and Power BI. We have Tableau as well to visualize all of their findings from data. Now, one very effective skill that a data analyst needs is being able to tell data stories. Because beyond analyzing data, they need to be able to communicate their findings to the business. And this is a part of what you're going to be learning on the data analytics program. Now, on data science, the work is quite similar to what the data analyst does, but there's a nuance in that the data scientist is not only focused on what has happened in data based on what they can observe in data, but they can also explain what is likely going to happen in the future. I'm going to give you a very practical example, which I believe everyone should be able to relate to. If you use any service, maybe any of these services, Spotify, YouTube, Netflix, just give me a thumbs up. I think I would use Spotify. If you use Spotify, just give me a thumbs up. Spotify or YouTube. Just react with a thumbs up. Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, if you had a Spotify Wrapped in December of last year, just type a one in the chat. If you got a Spotify Wrapped last year, towards the end of the year, Spotify Wrapped or YouTube Wrapped. I think YouTube had their own Wrapped. If you had a YouTube Wrapped or a Spotify Wrapped, just type a one in the chat. Oh, interesting. No one had a Spotify Wrapped. That's interesting. Okay, we have a couple of people that had Spotify Wrapped. If you use YouTube, it probably popped up on your feed, but you probably did not pay attention to it. All right. Now, that kind of information is what you get from a data analyst based on everything that has happened in the entire year, based on all of the songs you've listened to on Spotify, based off of all the videos that you've seen on YouTube throughout the year. They are able to analyze all of that data and create a report and create that wrapped and tell you, oh, you listen to this song for this number of minutes. You listen to this song the most. This was the album you played the most. This was the artist you listened to the most, and the likes of that. That is the kind of work that a data analyst would typically do. They look at records of events that have already happened. All right. Now, the data scientist, on the other hand, is someone that can predict things that are yet to happen based on patterns in data. Now, using the same tools and resources, have you listened to a song on Spotify and then they recommended something similar, maybe the same genre or the same similar tune or from the same artist? If you have experienced something like that, just type a one in the chat. Or even on YouTube, you saw a video and then they recommended something similar. Or even on Netflix, actually, you saw a movie and then they recommended something similar to that to you. Now, that's the kind of work that a data scientist does. All right. They're able to make predictions based on patterns in data. So they're able to tell, okay, this happened, or Oyindamola likes to listen to, these sets of artists. So she's most likely going to enjoy this other movie, or she's likely going to enjoy this other artist or this other song. That's the kind of work a data scientist does. If you bring that into the business context, we can look at customers. Oh, the business analyst is telling us that we are making a lot of sales from this specific region and we are making more sales from this specific demography of people. Now, can we predict what product the next customer is likely going to buy? When the next customer walks in, we collect information about that customer. And based on what we have observed about previous customers, we can predict what this customer will likely buy from us. That's the kind of work that the data scientist does. Predictive analytics, looking at what is likely to happen in the future. And then we have the data engineer, who is not concerned about analyzing data. They're not concerned about making predictions. They're not concerned about building dashboards. The focus of the data engineer is to build pipelines for interacting with this data. The data analyst at the end of the day needs data to build a dashboard, to create a report. The data analyst needs data to create that Spotify wrapped. All right. The data scientist also needs data to develop that predictive model. In order for them to be able to access this data, the data engineer is responsible for building pipelines that allow them to connect to a database, retrieve the data that they need, and then proceed with their analysis. So this is someone who is more technical, but tends to work a lot in the background. All right. This is not someone that's constantly talking to the business. Their focus is on building systems and interfaces that allow. Their focus is on transforming data. Their focus is on structuring the data in such a way that it is analysis ready so that the data scientists can simply plug in, retrieve what they need, and proceed with the analysis. So you see that these three professionals work hand in hand. Even though there are nuances to their individual responsibilities, they work hand in hand. So the data analyst leverages tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and tells data stories. But the data scientist, on the other hand, does this, but takes it a step further and leverages statistics and Python programming, developing predictive machine learning models. Now, the data engineer also uses SQL and Python. However, their focus is on building pipelines, ETL pipelines, ELT pipelines, transforming data, putting together flows for data interaction, working with cloud platforms like GCP and Azure. These are the kind of things that you will learning about on the data engineering track. Moving on, we're looking at the financial analyst and the HR analyst. Now, one simple way to look at these professionals is that they are also data analysts, right? They understand how to work with data. They understand how to use tools like Power BI, SQL, all right, and Excel. They can interact with data and do all of those beautiful things. However, these are experts in very specific domains. The financial analyst is like a data analyst that is strictly focused on the financial market. Their focus is on working on analyzing data around finances. How much are we making? How much are we going to make? What is the financial projection? What are we spending money on? Are we wasting money, or is our money actually working for us? So there's a lot of data around these kind of activities, right? And the job of the financial analyst is to leverage that analytical thinking, all of these analytical tools, specifically in the financial space. So this becomes a perfect fit for someone who is in the finance space and wants to move into tech. This becomes a perfect middle ground for you to leverage some of that finance knowledge and break into the tech space, learning about analytical tools. And the same goes for the HR analyst track, right? You'll be learning about HR KPIs, like retention, attrition, um, excuse me, and so much more, right? You learn about, recruitment tracking, how we go about these processes, human resource management systems, softwares in this space, and how you can leverage them to analyze data, right? How you can analyze data around, compensation, equity, employee performance, and all of these things. They are quantifiable metrics that the HR need to be able to analyze in order to get their work done optimally. So while the HR analyst still knows about these analytical tools like Excel, Power BI, SQL, their focus is on the HR space, on the human resource market. All right. Herbert is asking about AI systems and automation. These are things you can start learning about on every single one of the tracks, actually. You get to learn a bit about how you can leverage AI in HR analytics, how you can leverage AI in financial analytics, how you can leverage AI in every other one of the tracks as you go through your journey, right? We have the cyber security space, the cyber security analytics space. Now, this is a key learning area for people who are responsible for safeguarding systems and digital assets within an organization. So they are not concerned about analyzing data. To an extent, they analyze certain kinds of data, but it's strictly focused on data around security and the systems that protect digital assets within an organization. Now, organizations have multiple forms of digital assets. For example, customer data. That's a form of digital asset that this organization needs to keep safe. There are organizations that are paying millions of dollars in order to access, people's data, right? There are rules, there are frameworks, there are governance principles that are protecting, user data. And the job of the cybersecurity analyst is to protect and preserve these data. You can imagine someone breaking into the system of a bank and having access to every single person's BVN. You can imagine the kind of catastrophe that person is capable of doing with that kind of information. Or someone breaking into the government system and getting access to every single person's social security number. You can imagine the kind of damage that someone like that can do. Or you can imagine someone breaking into YouTube or Facebook, for example, right? And being able to access all of the conversations that you've ever had on Facebook, being able to access all information about you and all interactions you've had on Facebook. You can imagine someone getting into Facebook and actually putting down the platform, right? You can imagine the implication it will have on Facebook as a business. So organizations need professionals like this to protect digital assets that they have, the code that's running in the background to help their software to continuously run, the data that they have, the algorithms that their applications and softwares were built on, the internal documents within the organization. All of these are digital assets that they need to protect. And that is where the cybersecurity expert comes in. All right. You'll be learning about things like, information security principles. You'll be learning about vulnerability testing. You'll be learning about incident response, threat detection, and response. You'll be learning about vulnerability scanning, exploitation techniques, and you'd also be learning about governance and compliance frameworks. I explained to us that organizations collect a lot of data about you, and there are many organizations that want to buy this information to help their business run. All right. There are governance principles, there are governing bodies in this industry that protect you against being exploited, that protects you against getting your data being exploited. So this is a track that's for people who are interested in security, securing systems, working in the background as well. All right. We also have the DevOps engineering. Now, this is typically a role that would generally be recommended to someone who has some prior knowledge or some prior experience in some technical position, because the focus here is on looking at bridging the gap between development and operations within a business. We want to look at ensuring that as we develop a product and we continuously improve and upgrade this product, it is continuously optimal and works just fine. In the last couple of weeks or about a month now, you might have seen changes on the Instagram platform. If you use Google Meet very often, you'll also notice that a lot of changes have happened on Google Meet. The job of the DevOps engineer is to make sure that as we develop a product, we are continuously improving on it. And as we improve on it, we are able to integrate these updates and improvements into the already existing application. At the same time, we want to make sure that our platform, our application, our system is able to work on different kinds of, computers or systems. We want to make sure our application runs on Windows. It runs on Linux. It runs on different kinds of Windows. It runs on a 64-bit Windows as well as a 32-bit computer. So the job of the DevOps engineer is to make sure that the development and operation of an application is optimal. And they go through, building, containerizing some of these applications and making sure that they work perfectly regardless of the system that you're working on. They also make sure that integration of new updates betterment of these applications are made very efficient. All right. Now, besides this, we also have the product designer. Now, this is someone who is more concerned about interfaces and people's experience. If you have used an application and you find yourself spending hours on that application, just type a one in the chat. Sometimes it's not even the most beautifully designed application, but you find yourself spending hours. You find yourself having a very smooth journey, a very smooth experience throughout using the application. Just type a one in the chat. I have had such an experience, so I'm going to type a one in the chat as well. And I'm going to give you a very practical example. Have you found yourself spending hours on Temu? A notification probably popped up on your screen, you clicked on it, and you find yourself spending hours using Temu, just scrolling through, and probably you end up buying something. Or applications like Duolingo, right? A notification just pops up, you click on it, and before you know, you're spending the next hour on that application, right? There's intentionality in the design of how these applications were built. And that is the job of the product designer. They ensure that you have a seamless journey. You click here, and for you to take the next step, it's already designed in such a way that you intuitively just go on to take the next action. And it's easy for you to just navigate the entire application and actually make use of it. You've probably come across an application that you downloaded for the very first time, and you could already use it without anyone needing to explain the application to you. That is because there's a lot of intentionality that goes into the design of that application, where a button should be placed, how the button should look, how the colors, how the design should be made. It's built with you, the customer, in mind. And that is what product design is about. Human-centered design. The objective is to make sure that whatever user is using that interface, there's an interface that they can actually use, first of all, and that they have a seamless experience interacting with this interface. And that's the kind of work that a product designer is involved in. So if you're someone that's interested in design, if you're someone that's very visual, someone who is artistic, then this could be a perfect track for you. If you're also someone who is interested in people's experiences, you're interested in making sure that people have a wonderful experience when using an application, not directly interacting with them, but ensuring that people have a seamless experience with what you are able to build, then this is a perfect track for you as well. You'll be learning about tools like Framer, Figma, Cloud, Notion, and all of this. And you'd also be learning how you can integrate artificial intelligence into your workflow. In the past couple of minutes, we've been able to run through all 10 of the different tech tracks that are available at your disposal here at Analytics. And I would like to hear from everyone on the call right now. Which one of these tracks resonates with you the most? Is it product design? Is it cybersecurity? Are you interested in working with businesses? You would like to take business analytics. Are you interested in working in the background, building pipelines, and you want to go for data engineering? Which one of these tracks resonates the most with you? Just go on to type that in the chat. Just go on to type that in the chat. All right, fantastic. Fantastic. Herbert says business analytics. Tony says data engineering. Katrin says business analytics. Nicole says cyber security. Fantastic. I have iPhone here. I'm not sure what name that is. Say cyber security. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, if you recall, when we started this conversation, I spoke about two things that recruiters want, right? I spoke about two things that recruiters want. They want skills and they want experience. Now we've talked about all of the skills, right? Data analytics, these are the skills that you need. Cybersecurity, these are the skills that you need to secure a job as a cybersecurity expert. All right. Now, before you go on to start applying, you need to package everything that you've learned. Do you remember that formula? Right? Learn, package, apply, and that leads to securing a job. So we've talked about what you need to learn. Now, how do you package? And that's where experience comes in. So you learn the skills and then you package your experience. All right. So how do you do this? At analytics, we have a mantra: competence over credentials. Rather than being focused on getting a certificate or taking multiple courses, you want your number one objective to be becoming competent in this space. And how do we help you to do that? By building an experience through your learning. We take you through how to build a portfolio as you go through your learning journey. We heard from Michelle a couple of minutes ago, where she shared some of the projects that she had worked on the business analytics track. And she showed us some of the things that she had worked on. If you were a recruiter and I told you I was a business analyst, and Michelle actually showed you her work, not just tell you that she was a business analyst, which one of us would you likely employ? If I just showed you a certificate and say, oh, I have a certificate in business analysis, but she shows you the work that she has done. You expect her to build dashboards for you in Power BI, and she shows you dashboards that she has built that is similar to what you're expecting her to do. Thank you, Herbert. Of course, you would want to take Michelle because there's evidence backing what she's saying. She's not just showing you a piece of paper, she's actually showing you a collection of projects that she has worked on that gives you a level of confidence and trust that if I employ Michelle, she can actually get this done for me. So how do we help you to do that? The same way Michelle is working on projects and building a portfolio is the same experience you'd have. These are just a couple of examples, Victor and Lemuel. And just like you see them, every other person taking whatever program it is with us here at Analytics, we guide you through building a portfolio that can reflect your acquired skills, that accurately shows that I don't just know these things, but this is evidence. My Nigerians will say show workings, right? No be cho, right? Show workings. You want to show proof of competence. Now, besides this, we also help you to solidify your experience by taking you through our 2 months period of internship with our partner organization, Amidari. So at the end of your training, you get to have both Analytics and Amidari reflecting on your CV as organizations where you have actually applied these skills and knowledge. All right. At Analytics, I was able to work on XYZ project, and you are able to show these projects. I also moved on to Amdari, where I was able to work on XYZ projects, and you are able to show these projects in your portfolio. So Analytics Amdari gets to reflect on your CV by the time you complete your training with us here at Analytics. This is a wonderful package that you have bundled up for you to enjoy all full benefits of. Now, for some of us, we are already sure of which track we want to take based on the conversation that we are having today, right? And we are already seeing the benefits that we get to enjoy. What I would encourage you to do right now is actually to go on and start securing your slot, right? Start securing your slot. I explained multiple times that analytics is very intentional about your experience. Besides ensuring that you have the skills and ensuring that you have the experience as well, building a portfolio, going through an internship, ensuring that you understand how to revamp your CV, having a LinkedIn profile that portrays and positions you as a tech expert. We also have these job boards that we make available to you, these job openings that we make available to you. So what we have done at Analytics is we've gone on premium job boards and we looked at jobs that are not usually available to the general public because these are only available on premium job boards where you have to pay to have access to these job openings. What Analytics has done is to go on to pay on these platforms, scrape these job openings, and make them available to you. So now you have the skills, you have the knowledge, you have the competence, you have a portfolio that portrays all of these skills, and you have a stellar CV that Analytics has helped you to put together. We are making available job openings to you, including jobs that come with visa sponsorship. All you need to do is take that CV that we've helped you to work on and build and look at these job openings and tailor your CV to these premium jobs. And this is something we'll train you on how to do. right? So you tailor your CV to the specific job openings and then you go on to apply. And when you are eventually called for an interview, you can book an interview preparation session with us, and we guide you through what kind of questions to expect and how to correctly answer these questions so that you can secure a job. And a lot of people have gone through this experience. All right. This is Martin, for example, that was able to transition from, I'm working as a biochemist into working in pathology as a data analyst with the NHS. And we have Pavel as well, who was able to make that transition. And we have so many other people that have been able to go through this journey. All right. And be able to make their transition. Now, what steps do you need to take? What do you need to do so that next month, next year, next week, it's your face that will be coming up on the screen as an encouragement to a lot of other people? What do you need to do to get into this space in 2026? We have a cohort that's starting on the 7th of February. And all you need to do is get yourself enrolled for this cohort so you can get started on this journey and enjoy all of the benefits of the program. Remember, you have a training and you have extra employability services and an internship embedded into the entire experience. The full price for this program is $1,250. But as of today, and as of right now, Tenalytics is running a 20% discount for everyone on the call right now. So if you're interested in getting started on this journey, you actually have the unique opportunity of enjoying all these benefits of the program at a discounted amount, and you get to pay $1,000 instead of $1,250. So that way you get to save $250 on payments. And there's more to this. There's more to this. With this discount, you also do not need to pay the full price upfront. Tenalytics is being generous. All right? Tenalytics is being generous and saying you do not need to pay the full $1,000 upfront. If you have it and you want to pay up upfront, that's fantastic. But all you need to get started is to pay only $150 to secure your slot for this 20% discount. Now, I explained to us that we have this starting on the 7th of February. We have the cohort starting on the 7th of February. The discount is still running as of right now. All right. So if you'd like to take advantage of this discount, my colleagues are already sharing the link in the chat. All you need to do is click on it and go on to secure your slots. Herbert says, what if I already registered for a BA session with Tenalytics? That's fantastic. We are looking forward to having you in class. I'm assuming you have paid already to secure your slot. All right. So the cohort starts on the 7th of February. You get to step into class and get started on your journey. Fantastic, Herbert. So for everyone on the call, I'm encouraging you to be just like Herbert. Go on to secure your slot with only $150 today. Now, what I'll do is actually to share my screen and guide you through how you can go on to secure your slots. Keep in mind that there are only 20 slots available for each one of the programs. Herbert has already secured a slot for business analytics. That means there's one less the number of slots that are available. We have a limited number of slots, and the more people are securing their slots, the less the number of slots are. And as soon as these 20 slots are filled out, it goes back to the original price. All right. So if you'd like to save $250, if you'd like to save $250 on your application, what you want to do is click on the link that my colleagues are already sharing in the chat and be like, how about coming to secure your very first slot, coming to start this journey on securing your role in, in the tech space. Now, what I'm going to do is actually reshare my screen and walk you through how you can go on to make payments and secure your slot on the February cohort, for the February cohort, rather. My colleagues are already sharing a couple of links in the chat. What you want to do is simply go on to click on it and you are good to go. Now, once you click on that link, it brings you on to the payment page. Once you get here, what you want to do is scroll down and locate the track that you are interested in. All right? Click on the link my colleagues are sharing, scroll down and look for the track you are interested in. So if you are interested in business analytics, for example, I'm just going to use business analytics because our guest was in the business analytics program. What you want to do is click on buy now. Click on this button that says buy now. Now, once you click on the button, it takes you onto the next page. All right. Now, on this next page, you get more information about the program, who your facilitators are going to be, what the cost structure is going to be, what the full breakdown, what your curriculum is going to be. You can as well go on to download the cost brochure. But what we are interested in right now is to click on enroll now, because that's what brought us here, to secure our slot for the 20% discounts. So you want to come over here and click on this button that says enroll now. So click on the button that says enroll now, and that takes you on to the next page. Now, I already explained to us that signing up means you get access to our learning management system. So once you click on enroll now, you'd get a prompt to provide certain details, all right? Your name, your email address, your WhatsApp phone number, and the likes of that. That allows us to be able to reach back to you and also create a profile for you on our learning management system. So what you want to do is actually to click on that link, provide all of those necessary details, and actually go on to the next step. Now, the next step is to come to this page where you actually get to make your payments. All right. Now, you get to select the cohort you are interested in, the February cohort, like I explained, which is the one starting on the 7th of February. What you want to do is come in here and select the payment plan you want to go in for. I explained to us that all you need to get started is only $150. Paying that amount secures your 20% discount. And as the cohort starts, you get to make the subsequent payments in installments. So you get to pay $150 to get started. And then in subsequent months, you are paying $212.5 for the rest of the program. And at the end, the complete amount will sum up to $8,000. So you get a discount. And on top of that discount, you get installmental payments to ease the payment schedule for you. Now, if you decide to pay the full price upfront, you actually enjoy an extra discount. If you're making a one-time payment, you actually get to save a lot more than $250. You get an extra discount. If you also decide to go with 2 months of installment, what that means is you're only paying twice. You pay the first half, and then when the cohort starts, you pay the next half. You enjoy an extra discount. But anything beyond that, you'd have to only enjoy the 20% discount, and you get to save $250 paying a sum of $1,000 to get on the program. Now, once you do this, you can go on to click on apply discount. So what you want to do here is to select the payment plan you want to go with. And if you're paying in pounds, for example, you can see this button here for currency. What you want to do is click on the drop down, select the currency you want to pay in, which is in pounds right now. The full price is £950, but with the 20% discount, you get to pay £766.4. All right. If you pay the full price up front, you'd be paying $747, enjoying extra discounts. And if you're paying in 2 installments, you also enjoy that extra discount. So you can change the currency. You can go on to pay in Canadian dollars if you're in Canada, and you go on to see the breakdown. All you need, if you're paying in Canadian dollars, is only 212.4 Canadian dollars. So all you need to do is pay this minimal amount and then go on to apply the discount, right? If you're paying in Naira as well, you can change that to Naira. So select the currency, click on select the payment plan you want to go for, and then click on apply discount. And that takes you on to the next page. Yeah, all that's left for you to do now is to go through the terms and conditions and actually go on to make payments. All right. So you want to go through the terms and conditions, confirm all of the information that we have above are correct. Go through this, please. All right. So my name is correct. My email is correct. Phone number, location, and all of that. All right. And then go through the terms and conditions and check this box. All right. So once you have done all of this, you can go on to pay. Now that takes you on to the next stage where you get to make payment and secure your slot. All right. So the payment you're going to be making, the first payment is going to be debited today, the 4th of February, and then the next payment is going to be on the 4th of March. So your first payment is going to be $150, as you can see. And then subsequent payments are going to be 212 for each month, all right? For each month over the next 4 months after your first payment, all right? So once you have been able to complete all of this, what you want to do is click on Pay Now, and you go into the next page where you provide your card details and go on to secure your slot for the next cohort. I'm sure a lot of us are excited already for the cohort that's about to start. I'm sure a lot of us are already excited for the journey that's about to begin. All right. I see iPhone saying already in for cybersecurity coming up Saturday. That's fantastic. It's great to have you on board. And Nico says, in Eastern Standard Time, what time do we need to be online for classes on Saturday morning? Is it 5 a.m. my time? So we have two time slots. We have two classes, right? We have the first one that starts from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, right? That's Nigerian time. And then we have a second class that starts from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Nigerian time as well. All right. So can you do the math and just let me know what time that is in your time zone and which one of these times work best for you? Is it the 11 a.m. Nigerian time class or the 6 p.m. Nigerian time class? And each class spans for 3 hours. So either one, you get to pick one of the class that works best with your time zone, and then you stick to it. So let me know, Nico, which one of these time slots works best for you, and also let me know which one of the tracks you would be enrolling for. All right. Alice says secured. So Alice has taken one of our slots. It means we have one less slot for the data analytics track. If you're interested in data analytics, you better go on to secure your slot now. Alice has taken one already. All right. Fantastic. So Nicole, yeah, I'm asking a question. Which one of these time slots work best for you? 11 a.m. Nigerian time or 6 p.m. Nigerian time? And which one of the programs would you be getting enrolled for? Just go on to type that in the chat. Now, I'm sure we had a wonderful time. I'm sure we have come to a conclusion on which track might be right for you. And I'm sure you have an understanding of how to navigate this journey or how Analytics can help you do this. All right. If you're ready to get started, all you need to do is click on the link and pay a minimal amount of $150, securing your slot, and then make subsequent payments once the cohort starts. All right. So Nicole says 5 a.m. US time. Is that 6 p.m. your time? 6 p.m. Nigerian time. Right. Nicole is already on board. Fantastic. Fantastic. So how many of us are securing our slots already? Nicole is already up. Nicole has secured her slots. Who else? Who else? I mean, I've seen a couple of people. Alice has secured her slot. Herbert has secured his slot. Tony is starting data engineering with Amdari. All right. So Tony is going directly into their internship. I want to believe Tony already have the skill in data engineering and simply wants to get the experience. All right. All right. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's been lovely speaking with everyone. It's been lovely having this wonderful interaction, having this wonderful session. And at this point, if we do not have any other questions, I believe I've answered almost all of the questions, and my colleague have been responding to the questions in the chat. So if there are no other questions, I think we can draw the curtains at this point. It's been a wonderful conversation. It's been wonderful, interacting with everyone on the call right now. Please ensure you click on the link. Ensure you click on the link and go on to secure a slot. So Alice is saying, so what is your first time in tech? Alice, I'm not sure I understand the question. Could you unmute yourself and go on to ask? Are you asking what if it's your first time in tech? Just give me a thumbs up to confirm that. You're asking what if this is your first time in tech? Okay, okay. So all of our programs are beginner friendly, all right? Every single one of them will take you from the basics all the way to advanced stuff. What I want you to do right now is to look through every one of the tech tracks that I've spoken about and tell me which one resonates the most with you. Which one do you see yourself being inclined towards? That's the very first question you need to answer. Which one of these tech tracks do you see yourself inclined towards? So even if you are first time in tech and you're trying to learn data science, we take you from the basics all the way to the more complex and more advanced stuff. If you're interested in data engineering, data analytics, agile project management, what we look at is your previous experiences, right? Look at your current background and see how we can help you to navigate that journey. But every one of our programs are beginner friendly, right? So even if this is your first time in tech, okay, data analytics, even if this is your first time in tech, would be taking you from the basics, right? How to navigate Excel, what is a cell, what is a row, what's a column. We take you from the basics all the way to more advanced concepts, all right? So it's designed with people like you in mind, okay? All right. So would you be securing your slot this evening? Alice, are you securing your slot? Have you secured your slot? Amarachi is asking, please, how long does the HR analytics take? It's the same period of time, right? 6 months of training, 2 months of internship, right? All right, so that's another data analytics slot gone. That's another data analytics slot gone. All right, we have a lot less slots left. If you want to secure your slot, this is the time to do that. All right, fantastic. If we do not have any other questions, I think we can draw the curtains here. Let's all have a wonderful evening. Take care, everyone, and bye for now. Bye, everyone.